All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. How is everybody doing today? Welcome into the live stream. Looks like Bitcoin is seeing a bit of some volatility and some price action happening right now. So I wanted to jump on the stream and just analyze what's happening on the charts. Is Bitcoin about to see a much bigger drop to the downside? Or are we just seeing another weakened correction before another pump up to make new highs and for this relief rally to continue? Welcome in, everybody. How is everybody doing here? Let's just jump into it. Let me check the chat. Will you guys let me know in the chat? Is the sound good? Yeah, sound good. Can you guys see the screen okay? Everything look good for you? And welcome in, everybody. All right. So guys, Bitcoin is in this ascending channel here. I have been warning on my stream, on my videos, on my YouTube videos for the last few days here about Bitcoin really coming up into some very, very key levels of resistance where we could see a bigger drop to the downside. If Bitcoin decides to reject here, we could be putting in a macro lower high on the charts before seeing a big, big dump for Bitcoin to make new lows down below even 74K. So this is something that we do need to be aware of for Bitcoin. And if it does start to lose its structure that we're seeing now, Bitcoin could see that much bigger drop to the downside. It is in real danger here of rejecting and making a lower high on the charts and continuing the overall macro bearish trend that started back in January here. So welcome in, everybody. Okay, sound is all good. Awesome, guys. I'm on this live stream here. I'm not going to play music during this portion of the live stream. It seems like some of you guys like the music. Some of you guys like without the music. But just for this time, I'm going to give it a try without the music. We'll see how it is. You guys let me know if you like music or not. And if enough people like music, we can go back to playing some music during the live streams. But I just wanted to get in here and discuss what's happening here with Bitcoin because Bitcoin is starting to dump now. And if it doesn't hold some support coming up very locally here, we could see that bigger drop to the downside. All right, let me go ahead and change that up. Okay, guys, so Bitcoin has been going through a bigger correction to the down, a bigger relief rally to the upside. And we've been expecting this relief rally, but one of the things that we are looking at here is that bigger ABC correction still possibly in play. So if we look at this, that ABC correction, Bitcoin saw a massive long 2.5, 3-year long impulse to the upside, that 5-wave Elliott impulse to the upside. Now, up in this area, you can see we were towards the top of our highly respected cycle channel up here. And actually, let me zoom out a little bit more. Let me go on to the 3-day chart. So we were towards the top of this highly respected cycle channel, pulled from the last bull run highs down to the bull market low, bear market lows. And up in this area, we were expecting a distribution pattern to occur, with it being the end of a 5-wave impulse, as well as at the top of this channel. We did get that distribution pattern. I posted about that a couple months ago. I made a video about that. We dropped all the way down to 74K, where we did have some major pitchfork support levels. And we dropped down there with those bull divs on the daily chart, multiple drives of bull div on the daily chart. And once we started breaking local structure, we expected a relief rally up to either 93K or not, that 97.3K area of resistance, with the big level on the chart being that 97.3K area. That is our point of control of our prior range, as well as our macro golden pocket pulled from those highs, from the all-time high all the way to our 74K lows. You can see that golden pocket right there. And let me go ahead and clean this up just a bit so you guys can see this better. I'm going to hide this channel. And look at where we came up to. We hit that point of control of our prior range, as well as the golden pocket. And so far, we are rejecting from that area. Now, if this is going to be a lower high put in, we can maybe expect new lows to be made on the chart, maybe finally coming down to hit that 70K support level that we were looking at being hit here. It is the value area high of our prior 2024 consolidation range in confluence with the golden pocket taken from our wave 4 lows or 49K lows all the way up to our all-time high here. And so this is the big question that everyone's asking right now. Is this the end of the relief rally? Are we going to see that big drop all the way down now in an impulse to the downside in our C wave correction to the downside? So let's just go ahead and analyze. I think it's still a little too early to tell whether this is going to be that big dump down to 70K. We do not have enough data on the charts, but we are up at the level. If any of you guys were watching my videos over the past week, I was really aggressively looking for swing short positions up in this area of resistance based off of this possibility, the bearish possibility that we could be seeing that bigger dump to the downside to make new lows. So really, I've been warning about this for quite a while. We were expecting the relief rally up to 97K. Now that we are here, this is a key decision point for Bitcoin in the next month or two. What happens in the next week could determine what happens with Bitcoin for the next 6 months. And really key decision point for Bitcoin here. Let's go ahead and jump onto the Coinbase chart. This is my primary chart. And let's go ahead and analyze what is happening here on the charts. So Bitcoin was seeing that nice big relief rally. We started this out. There's a few ways we could look at this push up so far. And one of the ways we've been looking at it, and I've been talking about in some of my streams and some of my videos, as a possible A, B, C wave correction, a 3-wave correction up to that large point of control, where then we're going to reject and see that big drop to the downside. If you're bullish and you want to have your bull glasses on, another way to look at this is a 5-wave impulse, a 1, 2, 3. Now, there's not very much of a clear 4 in here. And then a 5 here, maybe the 5 is done, and then maybe we're just going to see a higher low coming on the charts and then continue this relief rally upwards. So there's not enough data on the charts to let us know which one it is yet. But I will talk about a couple things here that does, if you're bullish for Bitcoin, it's concerning. Let's say that. It's concerning if you're bullish for Bitcoin. Because in a 5-wave Elliott impulse to the upside, you generally want to see your wave 2 retrace at least down to the 0.382. But in a wave 2 retrace, you really want to see it hit that golden pocket area. That's 618 and sometimes even the 786. So if we look at this first little push up as that contracting diagonal that we were seeing in a wave 1, and then our wave 2 was this flat correction here. Yes, we do see flat corrections, and we have seen impulses only reach the 0.236 before in the past with Bitcoin, especially in very bullish momentum. But let's go ahead and grab our Fibonacci and let's go from the lows to the highs. And I'll tell you why I'm bringing it to this high in just a second. This high is the end of wave 1. This high here is a B flat correction and an A, B flat, C down here. So if we look and we go ahead and take that 382, actually let's just do 236 and then we'll put on the 382. Let me go ahead and turn off these other levels. You can see here we only did retrace to the 0.236. We hit the 0.236, which is a very, very uncommon target for a 2-wave to retrace down to. Generally, the minimum target you want to see is that 0.382. And as you can see, we did not even retrace to the 0.382 on this retrace to the downside on this week, 8-day long range that we saw a couple weeks ago. And then we made another impulse to the upside. So right there alone, that is a little bit of a concern to say that this is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave impulse up. Another thing that was concerning for me here is this low down here that we made. It was almost a double low, but it was a little bit higher, and we did not come down and grab this liquidity here. But we did hit the 0.886. So first of all, in context, we were in a much larger downtrend for months. You can see from the all-time high all the way down to 74K, we were in a much larger downtrend for months. And when you're in a larger downtrend and you have a small push up like this push up that we saw right here where my cursor is on April 7th, breaking some local market structure bullishly, on that retrace, if you do retrace from this high, that low to this high, if you do retrace to the 0.886, it makes it far more likely to eventually come take out these lows down here. Now, we did not come down and take out those lows. We bounced, we continued up higher, and we continued impulsing all the way up to 97K. But that is another strike against this being the ultimate lows on the chart here for Bitcoin on this bigger correction that we are seeing to the downside. So we've got these lows. We did not grab liquidity. Now let's go up to this week-long range that I was just talking about here. And we were looking in this range that we were forming a couple weeks ago. We were really looking to come down to 83K to grab our liquidity below the range. It would have been real nice to come down, sweep that liquidity, and then get the impulse up. But as you can see here on the charts, we did not come down and we did not sweep that liquidity. In a healthy move to the upside, generally the market makers will come down and sweep the liquidity. And actually this pivot here is the real pivot that we wanted to sweep. And so we did not come down and sweep that liquidity down there before making the continued impulse to the upside. Now, another thing, let's go up to the next range that was forming all of last week here. We had liquidity that was resting on this first low here. After the impulse, you get your first major low, and then we continue this range here. So this low is a key low where there's liquidity resting in for the market makers to grab and stop out all that liquidity before continuing the push up. You can also see at 91,685, we never came down and grabbed that liquidity before moving up higher to hit the point of control of our range. So a few key things here that are concerning for Bitcoin. We are seeing some relatively unhealthy moves to the upside as far as larger liquidity and market making, the way market makers play the game goes. And as we know, this market runs off liquidity. Market makers prey on retail, prey on the liquidity of retail to fill their bags and have their bigger positions move the market. So yeah, it's a little bit concerning for me. If we are looking at this in the bearish scenario, first of all, let's go ahead and zoom out here. We had our bigger push to the downside. This push was from, January 20th or so, all the way down to about April 5th, April 6th, 7th in this area. So, 3-4 months here of push down. But before that happened, we had a 2.5-year long impulse to the upside. Very, very clean 2.5-year 5-wave impulse to the upside. Now, let's think in terms of logical trading, the way trading sentiment, the way it goes, the way market cycles go. You have a 2.5-year long impulse to the upside, 2.5 to 3 year long impulse to the upside. And do you really think that the entire correction is going to be done in 4 months? It's not likely. Generally, your correction takes at least 0.382 the amount of time, 38.2% the amount of time that your impulse takes up here. We have not even gotten close to that 32.8% of time that the correction would take to be there. So this is way too fast for the correction of an overall impulse that happened over the last 2.5 years to occur. That is another concerning thing about Bitcoin. Well, what would be something that the market makers would do with this is they would push it down, maybe front run some very, very key support at 72 to 70K, make a relief rally to the upside to a key level of resistance, get everybody bullish, everyone in the world bullish, thinking new all-time highs are coming. Oh my God, the dump is over. Look at this thing is exploding. I just had a comment on my videos the other day, and the person commented, obviously you've never been through a bull market before, because this is and I've been through a couple bull markets. And here's the thing, the market makers always trick retail to thinking it's going to go up to new all-time highs. If we look at the last cycle here, they did the same exact thing, this sort of double top that we saw. Now, I know this was a much bigger push to the upside from 30K to 69K here, but everyone up in this area was thinking we were going to 120K, 200K, 250K, had that double top, and then we saw the big dump to the downside that lasted many, many years, really. And so now I'm not saying, by the way, guys, I am not saying the bear market is here. I am saying the correction is maybe not done yet. And we need to say, okay, if Bitcoin is going to remain bullish, it would actually be healthier to see a longer, little bit bigger correction to actually hit some key levels of support, then continue the super cycle to the upside. And I think, though, that is something that a lot of people just don't want to see with Bitcoin. They think crypto goes up only. A lot of these people are newcomers in crypto. They think it goes up only. And then as soon as we get a little bit of a pump, okay, new all-time highs are coming. Now, I do understand this perspective. And as a trader, we have to have both biases in our mind. We trade whichever comes. We map out the bullish scenario, we map out the bearish scenario, and we trade whichever comes. So you mark out your resistance boxes, you mark out your support boxes. You don't have to know what the chart is going to do. You don't have to know what the price action is going to do. You map them out. You let the market come to you. You do not FOMO and buy into the market. You do not have these emotional responses to the market. You map out your support and resistances. You let the market come to you. If the market gets to your resistance area and you are seeing confirmations on the chart to look for shorts, then look for shorts. If the market gets to your support boxes and you are seeing confirmations to enter long, enter long. And so this is what we are seeing right now on Bitcoin. If we go ahead and actually zoom out on, let's go on to the 8-hour chart here. As we were coming up into this very, very key large point of control, the point of control of our prior all-time, I call this the all-time high range. This range formed after the euphoria of Trump winning the election. You know, when Trump won the election, we got that big impulse to the upside. After the euphoria of that died down and the market started settling down a bit, the market started to price in the fair value of Bitcoin. Now, in this time, the market was pricing in the fair value of Bitcoin between 103K and 93K. And we were in this for quite a while here. Then we had some bearish catalysts happen in the market that caused a bit of a sell-off here. First of all, tariffs, trade wars, but also the Bybit hack of $2.6 billion. And Bitcoin lost the fair value of this range, and we started to establish a new fair value in a lower zone. We started to establish a new fair value in this little area here. Now, just very recently, Bitcoin broke out of this. You can see actually here on the charts for a while, this fair value was acting as resistance. Every time we would come up to the value area high, we would get rejected, and we would even come down and make new lows here. But with these trade wars settling down a bit, with a bit of a technicals, bullish technicals on the chart, we did see confirmation to look for a relief rally, at least up to these highs here, to take the liquidity above these highs, because we know liquidity acts as a magnet. And we did bust above those highs, and we kept going. We kept getting that bigger relief rally up to our very, very key resistance up here. We had so much resistance up in this area. We had weeklies, we had naked monthly points of controls, we had daily levels, we had our prior range point of control, which, you know, the point of control is the highest level of volume in that particular fair value for Bitcoin. And so it is a very strong level of support and resistance. In this case, resistance, because we were below it. So when you come up to that area, anyone looking to offload their bags will start to look to offload their bags up in this area here. And then we could see that bigger sell-off happen. So you can see as we were coming up into this area, first of all, we had our big push up, another big impulse in here. And as we were started to kind of see some exhaustion in the impulse, you could see real here, the momentum was very strong in this area. Then we started to cool off a little bit, started to form this ascending channel. And as you're forming that ascending channel, you're seeing some of the buying pressure get exhausted here, but we were still making higher highs in the price action. Well, then when you come down to your momentum waves, market cipher B here, you can see lower highs in the momentum waves. Our money flow had topped out, and our money flow is now draining out of the asset here. So we are seeing high time frame bear divs, not only bear divs, but money flow divergence as well, at a high time frame, very, very key level of resistance on the charts. Warning signals should be flashing in your mind. Okay, I should be looking for a pullback, or I should be cautious with looking to long up towards the top of this big relief rally that we've seen. And so, you know, we started even on, I think it was Friday, we busted a little bit past this point of control, and everyone in the world was saying, okay, 105K right now, 103K right now. And so many people were longing on Friday up in this little area of support. As soon as we started breaking that 97.3 area, all that liquidity has been trapped and is now underwater and giving us the fuel for this move down that we are seeing. And we are seeing a bit of a push down now. Now, I would like to say this, we have not broken market structure yet. That's why I think this ascending channel that we're seeing on the charts right now is so key to be looking at. And what we want to see is this ascending channel and this golden pocket. Now, this golden pocket is just taken from the lows of the channel to the highs. And you can see that golden pocket here is coming in right at our support of the channel, our channel support here. So let me zoom on to the 2-hour chart. And this is going to be our really key level for Bitcoin to hold. Now, you can see right now we're getting a little bit of a front run of that golden pocket, which in some ways is a bearish signal, because if you get your front run of the key support below us, we get a little relief rally, maybe to recover some of the imbalance of this candle. The next time we come down here, we could just bust through it and then we could see that bigger dump to the downside. If we start to lose this ascending channel here, first of all, we've had a lot of liquidity in the past, what's this, from the 22nd, so, past 14 days or so, 14, 15 days, a lot of people have been longing up in this area here. And if we start to lose structure and break it, this is going to be that liquidity trail that can just get swept so fast, and Bitcoin could really crash through a lot of these support levels really, really quickly and start sweeping all this liquidity, trapping it underwater, and seeing those infamous liquidation cascades that we do see in crypto, especially. So I just want to say it's very important right now what's happening with Bitcoin and what's going to happen with our key levels of support that are coming up. Now, I do think this key level of support here, 94K to about 93,877. This area here is going to be really important. And then another area that I'm looking at on the charts is this macro value area low. So if we zoom out here onto the 4-hour chart, and I'm going to check the chat in just a second, guys. I will look at that. I just want to cover some of this really quickly. You can see that our prior range for Bitcoin, the fair value was between 93K and 103K. Well, we lost that range with an impulse to the downside, and we have identified this impulse here as a key impulse in the market that shifted our sentiment and our bias to bearish, and it broke that fair value for Bitcoin, and we started creating a lower balance zone for Bitcoin, a lower fair value for Bitcoin. Well, now that we've broken back out of that fair value zone of Bitcoin, the lower one down here, we are now trying to retest our old fair value for Bitcoin in this upper range here, and we actually busted through it and even back tested it a couple times, and every time we came down to back tested it, it held as support, showing that buyers were interested in now determining that the fair value for Bitcoin is back in its old range. So came down to 93K, buys, came down to 93K, buys. And even here, we saw a little bit of a dip past it. But if you zoom out onto the daily level, onto the daily charts, it's really just some wicks past it. Let me go ahead and get rid of that. You can see it's just wicks past it. And really overall, Bitcoin, after busting above that 93K level, it has been holding as support. So another key level on the charts that I'm going to be watching, if we go on to this chart here, we've had this very, very key pitchfork that I've been watching for, I think I've had this on my chart for like 9 to 12 months now. And this pitchfork is just pulled from our wave 3 impulse lows. This was our wave 3 in the weekly impulse, down to our, from our wave 3 lows to our wave 3 highs, down to our wave 4 lows. And you can see how well this macro pitchfork has been respected. That's why when we were up in this area towards the top of the pitchfork, creating these daily bear divs on the chart with money flow leaving the asset, I was really warning back in November and December that we were going to see a bigger correction to the downside. And I did get a lot of hate for that, but I was just looking at the technicals. We were at the top of a very key pitchfork level. We were at the top of our high time frame cycle channel that we were seeing up here, and we were starting to create a distribution pattern in this area. So we did see that bigger correction, but you can see we dropped down to the lower band of the pitchfork. We hit the lower band of the pitchfork, bounced perfectly from this lower band with bull divs on the daily chart. You can see here lower lows in the price action here, higher lows in the momentum waves. But when we saw this first low down here, these first lows, we were not actually hitting our support level of the pitchfork band. Also, our money flow was still leaving the asset pretty aggressively. So when we got down there and bounced from that 76.6 level, I was actually talking about this, and you guys can go back and watch the videos, as this whole move up was like an ascending channel we were seeing. And the entire time we were moving up in here, I was warning that this was a corrective move before we were going to dump down and make new lows based off of the volume drive of bull divs on the daily, but money flow still looked like crap, and we had front run our key support level. We wanted to see one more low being made, and finally we got that one low being made into actually hitting our support level. We created another drive of bull divs, and by then our money flow had bottomed out and was starting to curve to the upside healthily, and we were seeing money come back into the asset. So look at that. We got that nice relief confirmation for a relief rally. We did get that relief rally to the upside. Now, we have busted above our pitchfork midline. You can see in here, pitchfork midline rejected us once, multiple times in here, again in here. Finally, we had busted through it with a volume candle to the upside, with a big imbalance candle to the upside. So now what I'm going to be looking for, anytime you flip a major level of resistance like that, you can look for it to turn into support. Well, look at where this level, this pitchfork band of this pitchfork midline of support is coming in right around the value area low of that range. And the value area low is going to be around 93K. So not only is it the value area low of our ascending channel that we're seeing on the charts right now, but it's also the value area low of our prior macro range, our all-time high range. And our 786 is very close by. So, and then of course, liquidity down there. Look at low here, low here. We have a liquidity grab into our pitchfork midline. So if 94K doesn't hold, 93K has to be the level that does hold. Looks like right now we are getting a bit of a push up on Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and dive in here a bit locally and let's look at this. And then I'm going to check the chat. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pull a volume profile of all the volume within our ascending channel. Bybit has a bit of a different volume profile pull than Coinbase. You can see on Coinbase, the value area high is a bit lower than Bybit. Let's see. Yeah, I guess it's not too much lower, but our point of control on Bybit is about where we're at now. On Coinbase, the point of control is much lower here. So we are seeing a nice little bounce to the upside right now. Let's see if we do reject from a lower high and then continue this push down. I mean, look at money flow. Money flow does not look the best right now, but we are developing possible bull divs on the chart. Lower lows in the price action, potential higher lows in the momentum waves. But generally, when your money flow looks like this, you want to see one more low being made here with another drive of bull div here. And then you could get and actually hitting your support level, and then you could get that bigger push up. So right now, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced we're going to bounce from here. I think we could come a little bit lower at the very least. I'm lagging. Uh-oh. Let's see here. It says the stream is in excellent condition. Let me check the chat, guys. See how you guys. Okay. Yeah, Dr. X, thanks, man. It's good to see you here. All good. Sounds good. Okay. Awesome. I was very quiet compared to the music in the intro. Okay. Thank you for letting me know that, Tinkster. Yeah. If they want music, they can play whatever they want. Okay, cool. Can we reclaim 95,800? So that is the level that I think is going to be really key to reclaim. So earlier today in the Discord, in Jason's Discord, we were talking about this, and I want to show you guys what happened earlier today. So first of all, throughout the weekend, we've been getting this slow, arduous grind to the downside, just like last weekend, by the way. And I warned that this was going to happen in my video on Thursday or Friday. I can't remember which video it was, but I said, guys, we're having bear divs on the chart. Do you remember last weekend? What happened last weekend? Slow, arduous grind to the downside, just like we're seeing now. We hit into a key level of support, grabbed internal liquidity, and then shot up. So now I said, let's watch for this same thing. We have bear divs on the chart. We had, look at this, higher highs in the price action here, lower highs in the momentum waves. Money flow had topped out and was coming out here. I was warning about this being a weekend corrective type price action, just like last weekend. And sure enough, we are seeing that so far. But the key level, what happened earlier today that we talked about right as it was happening. So this to me looks pretty corrective here. It looks like a nice corrective descending channel where if we do break that to the upside, we can make a quick push up, sweeping all this liquidity that's been building over the weekend, even though it's relatively low volume. But what we had was we came down to the value area high of our range. We tried holding it. You can see we're chopping around the value area high. We made a little push up to backtest our channel midline. After losing the channel midline, we came up for what we call a bearish backtest, right? We lost the level, came up for the bearish backtest of that level, which was also where the VWAP was, and we rejected. And look at, when we rejected, we got that giant push down. That just flushed down really quickly. So the very key level I think that Bitcoin needs to reclaim is, first of all, this value area high and this channel midline. So, you know, around pretty quickly, I do expect more downside to come in on the charts here. Another thing we should talk about, this has been our value area, our kind of range that we've been trading in since Tuesday, April 22nd. We busted, you can see here on this range, value area high, rejection, 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 rejection. So the value area high was acting as a really tough resistance for quite a while. We finally busted up through it, Now we have not came back for the bullish back test of it yet. And in my video on Friday, I talked about if we do come back for the bullish back test of this value area high and we can hold it and bounce, we will probably come up to that 98 to 98.3 level of resistance above us. But you can see here, we did not hold it. We came down here, we tried to, we chopped a bit, had a fake move up, and then broke through it. So now that we are back within this volume profile, we can expect a move down to the point of control. Well, on Bybit, we've already gotten that move down to the point of control. Let me go ahead and grab a volume profile here. You can see we've already got a move down to the point of control on Bybit and even below it. So now Coinbase, of course, the point of control is much lower. We have not touched the point of control yet. I do like Coinbase volume levels better than any other exchange, but I also follow Bybit. So now, even locally, we can expect maybe Bitcoin's going to reject from this point of control right around 94,800. And if it can reclaim it, then we can see a move up to this 95.8 area where we're looking at. But let's see as it comes up to this area, if we do see a rejection from this area here. Let's pull this here. And if we do start to see a rejection from this area, I expect a move at least down to the bottom of the channel, if not down to the value area low of the range, which is also about that 93K level, that 93K level of support, or 92.8, where we do have that beautiful Pitchfork midline down here and our value area low. We have a 786 and we have some liquidity down here. But yeah, right now, Bitcoin is seeing a little bit of a bounce up here. We did just have our daily close just happen. So let's actually zoom out onto the daily and we can mark out, let's see, no new daily levels here, but we can check our new naked daily point of control and see where that is resting. All right. Okay, so it looks like we do have our new naked daily point of control right around that same level of resistance on the charts. That is going to be a very, very key level to reclaim. Let me get that right on. All right, and let me come in here. Okay, we got that there. Just wanted to mark that out. So let's see how Bitcoin reacts here. What we could be seeing right now, you can see that we created a giant imbalance in this flush to the downside, a giant imbalance candle, a vector candle, fair value gap, whatever you want to call it. There's a giant imbalance within this candle. So oftentimes after you see a giant imbalance candle like this, you'll get a small push up to recover some of that imbalance, and then you can flush down or you can continue pumping. So we'll see if this is just going to push up a little bit, maybe hit these prior lows up here as well. Now we can be looking at these prior lows. We might just come up, bounce from the prior lows, and then continue to drop. Let's zoom in 6-minute chart. Okay, and I do want to go over to the Bybit chart to see if, okay, we haven't quite made it up to that point of control, but remember, now that we've lost this point of control, rejected the value area high up here, flushed down, tried to bounce from point of control, lost it. Now the point of control might flip to resistance and we might continue down to actually hit that support level. I would not be longing here. I would not have even longed down here because we did not see enough confirmation to long down here. I mean, like, look at 6-minute, no bull divs on the chart. Let's go on to the 15-minute chart. No bull divs on the chart on the 15-minute. Let's go down to the 12-minute chart. No bull divs on the chart. 1-hour chart. Starting to form some bull divs, not confirmed yet, and money flow looks kind of bad. So what I would be looking for, because we're seeing a lack of bull divs on the chart, is I would be waiting for us to actually come down to hit that support level. By then, if it takes us, if we chop for a little bit, like say we come up here, we do this, we chop for a little bit, and then come down, that would give us enough time to create those bull divs on the chart. And even on lower time frames, we could be looking like the 15-minute chart. By then, we might see something like this and a smaller hump here, giving us the 15-minute bull divs on the chart as well, where then we could have confirmation of looking for that long at support. But we don't want to long before we hit support levels. And I do understand, you know, there's probably some support level to get that was here, some EMA, some sort of fib level, something like that. But I am not looking. If I would look at a fib level locally, I'd pull it from this last low to the high And let's turn on our golden pocket 786 area so you can see that we broke the golden pocket. Actually, now we're rejecting from that golden pocket. So this is something I talk about on my channel and in the live streams as well a lot. Anytime you have a key golden pocket like this and you break it to the downside with a big imbalance like we saw here, oftentimes you will come back up and bearishly backtest that golden pocket as resistance, and then you end up dropping a little bit more. So I do like this 786 down here because it's very, very close to the bottom of our channel. That 786 would be nice. And if we do chop in here for a bit, come down, the 786 would be aligning very nicely with the bottom of the channel, and then we could get that push up. But we have to be aware here, guys. We have higher time frame bearish signals on the chart. 8-hour bear dips, 4-hour bear dips, money flow bear dips. So what we could be seeing is that much bigger rejection from this 97.3K area of resistance. If we start to lose this ascending channel structure, we could see a much bigger flush down. The last hope we would have is a fake out of it where we come to that 93K area, bounce from there, reclaim, and then start to push up again. So that is what I'm watching, really primarily 94K and then 93K to like 92.8. And if we do not, if we start breaking 93K, we really need to start getting concerned for Bitcoin. That Bitcoin could see a much bigger drop to, 83K, 85K. Okay, let me check the chat again. Can we? Yep. Okay, so that's what I just talked about. 94,800, you mean? Well, 94,800 is what we need to reclaim right now, very, very locally. 94,800 is the point of control of this range on Bybit, not on Coinbase, but on Bybit. So that's your very first level you want to reclaim. What do I think about the CME gaps? Well, I do think we could, CME gaps, if they're pretty local, they do tend to get filled. I would say we need to watch for a bigger rejection, though, from this area. So we'll see how we bounce once we get down here. Once we get down to support, let's see how the reaction is. Who knows? It could bounce so aggressively that it fills before, markets even open tomorrow. Okay, bit of a bounce. Yeah, okay, you're lagging. So am I still lagging, guys? Is there any lag in this stream right now? My audio is cutting out as well. Ooh. Okay. Hopefully it's not cutting out anymore. Let me go ahead and turn the mic down just a bit. Oh, you guys, I'm sorry. I didn't see that the audio was crap. What's up, Wilker? How you doing, man? Sound is fine. Check your stuff. Okay, I can sync my Pitchfork with yours. I can't sync my Pitchfork with yours. Can you post your 3 key points? Yes. Are you talking about, Dr. Rex, are you talking about that big weekly impulse Pitchfork from the Wave 3 weekly impulse? Yeah, we'll check the weekly level as well. Kevin, is there still a possibility for it to go to 98.3 where the daily level? Yes, there is. So, Kevin, with this ascending channel that we're seeing now, this is our buying pressure starting to get exhausted here. But until we lose this channel, we could just bounce from the bottom and come up to 98.3 where the top of the channel is. So absolutely, we still could come up to 98.3. It's going to be depending on whether we lose this ascending channel or not. But oftentimes, towards the end of an impulsive move, you start to get some exhaustion in the selling, and you start to see these ascending channel type structures forming. Everyone thinks it's going to break down. You bounce one more time from it at the bottom. You come up to your next level of resistance. You reject it, and then you break it down. So absolutely, it's still a possibility on the chart. What do you think about around 82K? 82K would be really, really nice. Let's actually zoom out a bit here, and I want to talk about 82K. So you can see, first of all, around 83K is where we have those nice key range lows coming in here. And let me go on to the Coinbase chart here. At 83K to 82K, we do have a monthly level, a fresh monthly level, and we have that golden pocket coming in here. Just a little bit above that, we do have a daily. We have a naked daily point of control. We have the point of control of our prior range, and we have the anchored VWAP's no longer there. So let me go ahead and get rid of that. Anchored VWAP's now a lot higher. But I would say this area right here between 83K and like 82.2, 83,150, it's going to be our macro golden pocket of this move up. if we look at this, it's going to be from our 74K lows up to our new highs. And yeah, I think that could absolutely, and let me make sure this is right. Okay. Let me readjust that. Yeah, see golden pocket monthly down here around, I would say 82.5, 82.5 to 83K, 83.5. That would be the level I'm really looking at a bounce from. Now, if we came down to 82.6, 82.5, we would hit that monthly, hit the 0.65 of the golden pocket, but we would also grab that key liquidity that was resting here that we never took. So I think that would be what we want to see coming down to that area. We're not there yet. We play level to level. We have some levels ahead of time. Since we broke our anchored VWAP from the all-time high, you can see we have not come back to back test that anchored VWAP to confirm whether it's going to flip to support or not. So this first green box I have on the chart, we have a very nice 1 hour order block in here. We do have a naked daily point of control in here, and then you can see our anchored VWAP from the all-time highs is in this box. So this box for me is going to be like if we lose 93K, this is the next level I'll be looking. If we lose 93K, I'm really not going to be interested in anything until we get down to here. Maybe an SFP of those channel lows, because oftentimes when you break an ascending channel like this, you'll sweep at least the second pivot of the channel, if not the liquidity of the entire channel. But at that point, coming down to 91,680, I would just want to come down to 91K where this box is. This box is between 91K and 90.5. Okay, let's see. What do you think about around 82K? Yep, just covered that. No, now it's lagging. Okay, it's all good now. Awesome. Sorry about that, guys. I do not know. My stream software says that it's in excellent condition, so I'm not sure what's going on there. I turned down the mic just a little bit, just in case it was like peaking out. And if it continues to peak out, just let me know. I can adjust it a bit. Okay, the pitchfork I use okay, this pitchfork here, let's zoom out onto the daily. This is the pitchfork that I pulled. Let's actually zoom out onto the 3-day chart. And so you see our big impulse up from the bear market lows. So if we look at in terms of Elliott waves, right? We have our 5-wave impulse to the upside. We have our lows down here. We have our wave 1, 2, 3 up here. That's not perfect, but you guys get the idea. 4 and then 5. So what you want to do when you're looking for your 5th wave targets to come in, you can pull a pitchfork from the lows of wave 3, or like the beginning of wave 3 or the lows of wave 2, to the highs of wave 3 to the lows of wave 4. So if I go ahead, let me just go ahead and I'll click on this pitchfork and I'll give you the coordinates. Now this is based off the Bybit chart. So if I come in here, coordinates here, you guys can pause the stream. Oh, let me get that back up again. You can pause the stream. You can type in these coordinates. If it's on the Bybit chart, it will match. But pretty much you're taking it from your swing positions. Your swing low of wave 2 to your swing high of wave 3 to your swing low of wave 4. And then you can see your 5th wave will oftentimes pump up to the top of that pitchfork. And then another thing you see in the correction, you generally tend to correct down to the bottom of the pitchfork. Now, here's another thing I want to talk about, guys. If this correction, this bigger ABC is not done, if this is just the A, B, and then we're going to get a C, well, look at, because this is a dynamic resistance that changes with time, by the time we got back down to the bottom of that pitchfork again, it would be aligning really nicely with our golden pocket and our value area high of our previous range. Come down one more time, hit the bottom of the pitchfork, and then see that blast up. So that is something that I would definitely be looking for swing longs around that area if we do come down there. Am I in a swing short position? Kevin, I am so frustrated on what happened on Friday because I got short from 97,172. $97,172. And I was in that short and I didn't really take any profit on it because I was thinking it could be a bigger swing short. So I wanted to hold it for much lower levels. And on Friday, it pushed up one more time, stopped me out because my stop was above this high. I shorted right up here. So let me actually show you guys what happened here. Let's go ahead and go on to the 30-minute chart. So in this area here on Thursday and Friday, we had our initial high come in on Thursday. And then we did our first little change in market structure. Like on lower time frames, we broke market structure bearishly in this area where my cursor is. So I went and I pulled the Fibonacci from the highs to the lows. And when we came up to that 786 area, you can see right around 97.2-ish. Once we wicked past the 786, then lost it, I shorted right here on the retrace, the bearish retrace. After breaking market structure bearishly, I shorted here. Then it came down. I took profit one on that one, and then I got stopped out. I actually closed it manually during one of my videos. I think that was on Thursday's video or Friday's video. But then we came up here again, and I shorted, I think it was right in here. I shorted right in here. Only my entry was 97,160, only $12 less than my initial entry. And then I set my stop above this high. Went to bed. Woke up, it was pushed up a little bit past up to 98K. Obviously, I got stopped out. I lost that trade. I lost 1%. And then it dumped on me. And I wasn't looking quite yet to short up here because we were front running that 98.3 daily level. And then we also have an order block up there. If I go onto my chart, I was waiting for it to come up just a little bit higher where you can see we have that very key order block up there. And then if I go ahead and turn on my daily levels, we have a daily. Where are those guys? We have a daily level at 87. No, I did not take a short. And then over the weekend, I haven't been trading over the weekend. You know, I started looking at the charts again today. I generally don't trade too much over the weekend, guys. For me, it's family time. It's enjoying lifetime. You know, you got to have some balance in your life. So yeah, there will be times where I'll miss trades because of that. But for me, it's not everything. Okay. I think it's YouTube. Let's see. Okay. Yep. That's exactly what I was looking for, Kevin. So right now I'm not in any positions. I shorted Solana, and I think I've taken most of the profit on that, but I'm waiting for my final take profit to be at like 140.4 on Solana, this area down here. But right now I am not in any shorts on Bitcoin, and I'm not in any longs on Bitcoin. I'm waiting. If Bitcoin does come down to that area just below us and we're seeing bull divs on the chart, I will attempt a long from this position, even knowing that it could break down much further. If we do start to lose this channel, I'm looking for the fake out of the loss into that value area low and liquidity grab. If we get the confirmed swing failure pattern. Only if we get the confirmed swing failure pattern will I look for a long. So coming down and taking out these lows at 92,829. So let's say we do this. We come down one more time. Again, guys, still right now, because right now, according to my stream software, everything is fine. Dang. All right, give me just 1 second, guys. Give me just 1 second here. All right, I'm not sure, guys, what is going on. Let me know if it's still cutting off right now. It's saying that it's not, but I believe you guys. Hmm. Are you guys still there? Check 1, 2. Seems good. Okay, cool. All right, thanks, guys. So I don't know what you missed with that, but I am looking for a little bit more of a drop down. Oh, you know what? You know why we're bouncing? We're bouncing from that daily level. I should have had that turned on the charts. So look at here. We're bouncing from the daily, but guys, I would like to still come a little bit lower here. Still like to come just a little bit lower. Hit that golden pocket in the bottom of the channel. I think that's a little bit more important than this daily level. Of course, we're going to see a reaction from the daily level here. We are starting to form some bull divs on the chart here. And this actually does look nice. So what I'm seeing now, with what I'm seeing on the chart right now, if we do get that one last drop into this golden pocket, you would see probably another drive of bull div come in on the 30-minute. But look at this. Lower lows through all of this. Higher lows through all of this, and our money flow has bottomed out and is now starting to curve to the upside here. So I think that this 94K area could be a really nice area of support to look for a long position, at least a scalp long. And in that case, what we could do is we could pull our Fibonacci from the highs to wherever our lows are going to be. I'm just going to put it right on the bottom of the channel, and I would be looking at that golden pocket. You can see there's internal liquidity there. I would be looking at that level to TP1 at least, just in case it's going to create another lower high and then dump down. And also this, we have a small descending channel that was forming in here. I was just showing it right before the stream. I'll throw that on there real quick. This small descending channel that I was looking at here, down to, let's see, I think it was this low here. Yeah, we had this smaller descending channel. So let me zoom in onto the 15-minute. And I was following this small descending channel just of this price action, because you can see what happened here is we got that initial aggressive dump down here. And then you can see in this area, we started going a little bit more sideways. So I was like, okay, we're starting to see that kind of corrective type price action. We were actually looking at the bottom of the channel, and we did see a small bounce from the bottom of the channel, but I did say in the Discord, I don't think that's going to hold. I think that we're going to continue to dump. So, because the bigger channel is more important. And in the bigger channel, let me go ahead and just get rid of that. Okay, in the bigger channel, the bigger ascending channel, I want to come down to that golden pocket support. Let's look at our 5-minute chart and see how this looks. All right, money flow starting to leave the asset again on the 5-minute chart. I do think we can get one more low in here. Let's check out our CVD here. Okay, so that drop that we were seeing in the past hour or so has been a long squeeze. Long's getting squeezed out here, which is kind of good if you're a bull. That's better than seeing your open interest increase and fresh shorts pushing the market down. So this is somewhat hopeful that if we do come down one more time and hit our golden pocket below us, we could see that push up. Let's check out our liquidation map here. We grabbed our local liquidity below us. Now, remember on my video on Friday, I talked about the liquidity both above and below, and that we had a high likelihood to grab both sides. So now that we've grabbed the liquidity below us, maybe we can come down just a bit lower and then grab that liquidity that's above us. So let's check Bybit here. Where is it at? Here we go. Yeah, I do like that liquidity up there. But I would say let's be patient here. Let's wait. You know, money flow looks like crap kind of on lower time frames. If you think we're going to bounce from this daily, if you think this was it and we're going to bounce from here, what you could do is pull a golden pocket from this just little move up, like this little push up that we saw. You could be looking to long this retrace. Golden pocket 786 area. What you would do is long, I'd probably wait down here, look to take it up to the midline. At least your stop would go below that low. And then in that case, because the golden pocket's so close below us and we front ran that golden pocket, I would get stopped out of this trade and then I would just try to re-enter a new one down here. I'd try to re-enter at that closer to the 0.65 if we get down there. But guys, I do want to warn you, with the higher time frame signals we are seeing on the chart, we could lose this support level. We really could. Starting to see some impulse. Actually, let's look at our volume here. Yeah, I mean, that is not good looking there. Let's actually zoom out to the hourly chart. Okay, it's not so bad overall. overall in the grand scheme of things, it's not so bad. But look at our money flow on the hourly. So what we want to see, what we want to really be seeing is this money flow starting to really bottom out and even starting to curve to the upside. We have the potential bull divs forming, lower lows, higher lows on NAMI as well. You know, NAMI's money flow as well is kind of coming out here still. So what we want to see is be patient a little bit longer, maybe come one more time down here, and then see that push up. So I will be looking for long. If we're live here, we'll look for it together. Be aware. I want you guys to be aware because we front ran that. Now I understand why we did front run it. We front run it because there was a daily here. But anytime you front run this golden pocket that closely and see a little bit of a push up, the next time we come down, we could just slice straight through it. So I'm not going to be setting limit orders right now, expecting it to bounce here. Even with our potential bull divs forming on the chart, I am not setting limits here. I am waiting for a reaction. I am going to look at how that reaction occurs, and then I am going to long if it looks good. Okay, if BTC topped, what would you want to see? Well, okay, we kind of went over that just a little bit here. I think that, I don't know if it's, okay, let's say it has topped. Let's say Bitcoin has topped. At the top of the Pitchfork here, we had that distribution pattern at the top of our cycle long channel, So let me clean this chart up just a bit and I'll explain to you guys why I do think we could have topped. Not the highest probability, by the way. It's not the highest probability that we could have topped, but we'll look at it. So let's go on to the 3-day chart. And if you just look at this cycle channel, this very nice ascending channel that Bitcoin's been in since really 2020 or so. Even though these channel pivots were pulled after some of this price action was formed, the market moves based off of the human psychology, the cycles of fear and greed, and how human psychology goes. That's why you can see that this midline bounced perfect in here, even though the full pivots weren't formed yet for the channel. You can see once we reclaimed the midline here, coming right into that spot ETF, let me go ahead and show you this real quick. If we do a Fibonacci pull from our old all-time highs down to our bear market lows, let's turn on just the golden pocket. And you can see here, where did we reject? Once we broke above that midline, we came right up into that golden pocket. Macro golden pocket, we rejected. And I remember this day in the Discord, everyone was saying we were going to see a 10K God candle to the upside. And I told everyone we were going to see a 10K God candle to the downside. And we did get it that day after I called it. Now, I'm not trying to brag or anything. I'm just saying we were at resistance. We were also at the top of our fib channel. I'll show you guys that fib channel in a second. But what happened is we dropped, you know what, $10,500 to backtest that midline. After breaking above that midline, we flipped it to support, and then we continued up to make new all-time highs. So now we say, okay, now that we flipped the midline to support, there is a real possibility we could make it all the way to the top of the channel. We made it all the way to the top of the channel. We did see some chop in here. Of course, some price action above it, some below it, chopping towards the top of the channel. And then we finally lost the channel. And let me come in here now and come on to the daily chart. And I will show you guys the day I really got concerned is when we saw this right here. We were chopping below the channel for a bit for the first time in a while, seeing some pretty big weakness here. And then we came up and bearishly backtested that channel and saw a harsh rejection. That also happened to be the day of the Bybit hack. And then we got that big dump to the downside. So once we kind of started chopping back within inside the channel, again, after a couple fake outs of chopping back within the channel, we rejected, made new lows, and then we continued to spend a fair amount of time back within inside this channel. So one of the things that I am suggesting here is if we do break this golden pocket level that we're seeing now, you can see on my chart, I actually have the ABC correction pulled all the way up to the top of this channel here, because the top of this channel, if we come back up now that we've been inside it for a while, we can come up for the more macro bearish backtest and then continue down. So I do think that this area about 100.5, which is also our ABC, one of our major correction targets for the ABC. And I do think that that could be an area where we top out if we don't dump from where we're at now. But anytime you break more We broke market structure bearishly on a daily time frame. Like we've taken out some key swing lows here, made new lows. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Now we're breaking it bullishly locally, but we have been in a bigger downtrend for the last 4 months. So what you could be looking for is your low, lower high, now lower low. And if that's the case, if the top is in, I do expect some nice strong reactions at this area. Buying down here. Let me see here, because that is a more macro support level. Also, if we're looking at this as an ABC correction, look at where our one-to-one target is coming in. Actually, let's really pull that right now from our highs that we see right now. So if we're going to reject from the highs that we see right now, let's just do this. 66K to 60K could be your C wave targets. Coming down to this area could be your C wave targets. Now, look I do like this 63K area, which is very close to our 786, and it's close to our 1.236. Your zone, this is the zone that the AB3C target should end in if this is a bigger ABC. So it's a zone here. And that point of control being within that zone there would be a nice area to bounce from and see a bigger push up. I don't know if the bear market's in or not. Like, I just don't know. One thing I will say to you that is very, very concerning, and I was talking about this for weeks and months now. Let's go on to the monthly chart. Now, I know this looks a little bit messy right now, but on the monthly chart, you can see here, we did have our bear divs on the monthly from our 74K highs to our new all-time high. Higher highs on the price action. Lower highs on the momentum waves, just barely, but they are lower highs. So we have our local monthly drive of bear div for this cycle. But also look at this. From our last all-time high to our new all-time high, we have regional monthly bear divs. Now, when you see regional along with local bear divs on the monthly, money flow looks to be kind of topping out here, and maybe it's going to start curving down. That could be very dangerous, that this cycle is over and that we are going to see a bigger dump to the downside. Now, even if we do see that, what I would be looking for is we would want to do a couple things here. Let me just get rid of some of this stuff real quick here. What I would be looking for is, let's do a Fibonacci pull. You could go from all the lows to the highs. Let's turn this on log scale because we need to, it's over a 500% move, so we need to adjust for that. 32K would be my worst case scenario. And you can see here, 32K, why is that also such an important level? Well, if we just do this, support here, resistance here, now it's also a more macro support resistance flip area. So that's like worst case scenario. Bear market's in. Next couple of years, we're going to chop down to 32K. I would be buying heavily in here, looking for another bigger push up. And if we got down to the 786 area, which is near the bottom of the channel, gosh, I would be looking to load up everything. Let's make sure that's on log. Yeah, that 23.5 area near the bottom of this big cycle channel. Whew. But that wouldn't be for a while too. Look at September of 2026. That would be about where the end of the bear market would be time-wise as well. But I'm not going there. As traders, as technical analysts, we play level to level. So we can always map these scenarios out in our brains, but really 70K is our first major level of support, and we're not even there. We haven't even made it down there. So until we see that, we're going to say, okay, overall market structure is still bullish on the monthly, on the weekly time frame. We have to remain overall with a bullish bias. But that doesn't mean we can't look for more local downside as far as weekly downside. But we also did have, look at this, guys, like higher highs on the price action, lower highs on the momentum waves on the weekly. Money flow is draining and leaving the asset on the weekly. We were seeing warning signs up in this area. And if you go back and check my videos in December and November, I was warning so harshly about this, and I was getting a lot of crap from some people. I also took profits on my altcoins when we hit the top of this Pitchfork. I was taking profits. Everyone was saying, oh, we're about to go into the biggest altcoin season ever. You're the biggest idiot, And I said, I'm just doing what the charts are telling me, confirmed bear divs, confirmed money flow, leaving the asset here at the top of our very key pitchfork. And even back here, you guys can go watch the videos from back in November. I said it was possible that we could correct all the way down to the bottom of the pitchfork. Guess what we did? Corrected all the way down to the bottom of the pitchfork. Bounced from the bottom of the pitchfork. Now we're chopping within this band. You can see we're getting a rejection from the top of this band. This is the total 3 chart, by the way. So this is all the market cap of all coins, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, if we bounce from where we're at now at the bottom of the band, we could see a big rally on altcoins coming up here. But if we start to lose this band, altcoins will dump quite a bit more, and we could probably expect to come down to that golden pocket area at the very least. Let's go to golden pocket. Yeah, I mean, that golden pocket is near that daily. And then you can see this key liquidity that is down here. Internal liquidity grab right here into the daily. So if we start to lose this band of support, you can see it bounces once, twice, and we're at it again. Now we still, even on the daily, we still haven't even broke market structure bullishly on the daily. You can see lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high so far. So there is a possibility that this overall macro bearish trend continues, and we even come down a little bit lower to hit this point of control of our prior range. 630 billion. You know, doesn't look like it right now. It looks like, I mean, Bitcoin dominance is crazy. We can go into Bitcoin dominance in just a second here. But yeah, I do think that there's a possibility that Bitcoin could have topped. It's not my main probability, but I do think there's a possibility that it did. Okay, let's see what Bitcoin's doing. Yeah, seeing a little bit of rejection, guys. That's what we figured might happen. So we reclaimed a little bit of the imbalance of this candle, and now we're dropping a bit. Okay, not macro top, but topped in this rally from 74K to 96K. Oh, from 74K to 96K. So this wave 5 that we saw, the weekly impulse, if that topped, I would expect us to come down to 70K and then see a bounce from 70K. Oh man, okay. Yeah, your stop was above that high too, and my short initiated about $100. Dang, dude. Yeah, it was a tough one, man. I'm really pissed because I had such a good entry there, and man, it could be a freaking super nice short. But here's the thing, guys. If we do bounce from this 94K area and we make one more high up into this 98.3 near the top of this channel, I will be looking for swing shorts again. But we have to be careful because in that case, we would be reclaiming this large point of control. And we could see something like, you know, say we do come down here, bounce, you know, reclaim the midline, come up to the top, reject from the top of the daily and the top of the channel. We could just drop to back test that point of control and continue up to 103 to this big box up here. So, or 100K where the top of that cycle channel is. 100K is the top of the cycle channel, but it's also our 1.236 trend-based Fibonacci extinction. This guy right here. So if this is a bigger, let me zoom out onto the 12-hour chart. You can see we hit our one-to-one target. So one of the things that I am concerned about is so far this move does look a pretty bit three-wave corrective. You know, three-wave corrective move. We hit into our one-to-one target. We could see the drop now. But the other major area that ABC correction is at the 1.236. So we could see a bit of an extended hit up into that 100.5, get everyone hyper bullish that we're above about 100K, and then we could see the dump. But, you know, I want to be bullish, guys. I want to be bullish. I have the spot crypto. So I am not trying to be the bear, the buzzkill in the room. We just need to look at the possibilities on the chart and the technicals on the chart. Look at 12-hour bear divs coming in now. You know, it's just, we're seeing, let me turn off some of these daily levels. We are just seeing enough on the chart for me to say, I got to be looking for swing shorts. Higher highs in the price action through this ascending channel, lower highs in the momentum waves. Money flow is finally topped out and is starting to come down now. I mean, just makes sense to be looking for shorts up at the key areas of resistance. We're traders. We look for shorts at resistance, longs at support. We don't really care what the price does, except overall we want it to go up into the right because we have spot. Okay, so what was I just going to show you guys? I was going to show you something else here, but I cannot remember what it was now. Yeah, I don't know. Just let's look at this price action here. Okay, so you can see we're rejecting from that point of control area. That anchor VWAP's there, but it's not actually there. Like it's a glitch on trading view. When you zoom into the 12-minute, it shifts the anchor VWAP. I would want to come a little bit lower. Let's see if that works. And oh yeah, that's right. Bitcoin dominance. I was going to show Bitcoin dominance, and we can look at USDT dominance too. Okay, so Bitcoin dominance here. I just want to show you guys this. This is crazy to me. So this is the daily chart. First of all, I just want to show you. Actually, let me go to the 2-day chart so I can fit it all on the screen. But we have been in a very, very strong ascending channel on dominance here. You can see that one point we lost it in December when altcoins really started pushing up right before that last push up they saw before they all dumped. But we were in this nice ascending channel on Bitcoin dominance. We lost it to the downside. We're able to get back within the channel, back tested as support a couple times, and shot up to the top of the channel. Well, once we rejected from the top of the channel, we came to the midline and chopped around the midline for a month or so, and then now we're pushing up again. So I am thinking that Bitcoin dominance could come just a bit higher, where we could hit up into like 65%, 66 to 65%, top out on Bitcoin dominance, see a bit of a drop on Bitcoin dominance, maybe even to the bottom of the channel, 59% or so, and we could see a push on some altcoins. But like, look at the money flow here on Bitcoin dominance. It just looks so strong here. I know this is not money coming in and out of an asset. I know it's not money coming in and out of asset, but money flow just does show like a momentum of the dominance here. Okay, so that is what I'm looking at on Bitcoin dominance. I think it could come a little bit higher. We're also not quite seeing some bear divs yet on Bitcoin dominance. And then let's go to USDT dominance. Okay. Now on USDT dominance, kind of the same thing. We were in this ascending channel type price action here, hit into the top of the channel, and we were forming this triangle in here. Kind of a triangle type price action here. We broke it to the downside. You can see once we broke that triangle to the downside, we lost our bigger blue channel, back tested it once, twice, 3, 4 times, couldn't get back within it, and we came down and made new lows. Now it's pushing back up again, but now that we've lost that channel, we can actually go ahead and get rid of this channel. I'm just going to hide it for a second. We can look at the smaller descending channel. Now, remember, this is a 2-day time frame, so this is still really a lot of times passing. But you can see that USDT dominance was dropping for a bit here because it was obviously Bitcoin's pushing up, so USDT dominance is dropping. But now if we start to bounce from this midline and USDT dominance starts to come up to the top of the channel, we could see that bigger drop in Bitcoin. I do think we haven't quite come down to that midline yet, though. So that's the thing. If it comes down to the midline, maybe Bitcoin goes up to that 100K, 100.5K area, or maybe even 100.3 or 103, and then we see that bigger push up. But I would say this, dominance does look like it wants to bounce right now. USDT dominance wants to bounce right now. And yes, Bitcoin dominance is very strong right now. I've never seen it look this strong before. I mean, well, obviously we have, but it just looks super strong right now. And I do want to see it continue up a little bit higher. If we look at that Bitcoin dominance again, I just want to see it continue a little bit higher. I mean, like, look at how straight up this is, though. That is freaking crazy. And that's on a 2-day chart. So that's like months of just straight up dominance, like straight up, particularly this here. Look at how much of a push up this is. Super big push up on dominance. Oh, and the DXY is also bottoming. Okay. Yep. So, I mean, there are some signs, guys. There are some signs. If the DXY is bottoming and about to make a rally, maybe Bitcoin rolls over, you know? Let's check Bitcoin out. Let's see what Bitcoin's up to. Okay. Yeah, let's watch this to see how this is going to react here. Money flow still coming out here. Let's go ahead and look at the 12-minute chart. Okay, remember how I talked about if you think the low is in, that daily is the low? Pull your fib from high to low. Let's look at that 786 that I talked about. We're already starting, we're trying to hold the 786. So if you think the low is in, this would be a decent area to long, stop below the low. I am not, let me be clear, I am not doing that. I am not. I think lower is coming. Actually, let me check on my Solana short position. Hold on here. Solana's at a key Pitchfork level of support, but I do think Solana's going to come a bit lower here. Okay, you guys, I do need to leave in about 15 minutes. So if there is anything you want me to look at as far as altcoins or anything like that, please let me know now because I only have about 15 minutes left. Come on, let's make that low in 15 minutes into the golden pocket. Let's look at this order flow here. Nothing too much here. Let's go to the 15 minute. Yeah, I would say yeah, we're not really getting an edge with as far as open interest in CBD goes. Oh, Jaffiel, what's up, my brother? Yes, we will look at Super and we can look at Rune to FOMC this week, right? Yeah, I think it's May 6th, I think, or May 5th or 6th. Pump could be people anticipating. Yes, people are expecting an interest rate drop. But here's the thing, Caleb. If we don't get one, that could be a very bearish catalyst for the market. If Jerome Powell does not do the interest rate drop when everyone's expecting it, man, we could get a super dump on that. Okay, let's go back here and let's do Jaffiel, I know you said you took profit on that short. And you were looking to re-enter another short. I don't know if you did that. Let's zoom out onto the 4-hour chart. So remember, we were talking about that liquidity grab of these highs, not these highs, this high here. We did get that liquidity grab, but we're still in this ascending channel. Remember, we talked about this golden pocket near the bottom of the channel is where you might see a bounce come in this general area. We were looking closer to 66 cents there. And it looks like we did get not quite down there. We're trying to hold it. Money flow doesn't look good, just crossing into the red on the 4-hour. I suspect this is going to do what Bitcoin does. But yeah, I don't think, Nick, I don't think the Fed's going to cut rates either. Yep, I don't think so. He's been tough on not cutting rates because he's expecting inflation to rise from the tariffs. Okay, 1-hour chart. Let's look at our 1-hour chart. No bear divs or no bull divs, excuse me, on the 1-hour chart. Money flow still looks like crap. So Jaffiel, unfortunately, we are at support, but we're not really seeing the signs we want. Also, check this out. As far as our local push down, 1, 2, 3, 4, we should expect a 4, 5. So I would expect to at least come take out these lows down here, or maybe even come take out these lows down here. What would be really nice to see, Jaffiel, is a push down to our box of support down here. It's the value area high of our range that we broke out of, golden pocket down here, and a naked daily point of control down here. I would like to see that. Let's actually go ahead and look at this real quick here. 1.618. So your third wave, if this is an impulse down, right? If this is a 1, 2, 3, your third wave most commonly comes to that 1.618 level. Taking the liquidity below here, we would see a bounce in a wave 4. Now your wave 4 would probably come up to back test this channel or come up to this general area. And then you could see a 5th wave down to your actual box of support, hit that box of support, and then see a nice long opportunity. But you can't long, or you can't short here, Joffiel. It's this golden pocket could hold, the bottom of this channel could hold, and we could bounce all the way up to the midline. What I would be waiting for, unfortunately, it sucks that that short position closed because we really could start dumping here. What I would be waiting for is if we do bounce from this 1.618, you could look to long in this general area, the 786 to the 1.618 area. And then I would look at your local 382. So what you're going to want to do once we get down there, let's just grab our fib, but you're going to go from the highs of wave 3 to the lows of wave 3. So I'm going to put it right on the 1.618. And let's look at our wave, didn't mean to do that. Let's look at our wave 4 targets. So you're going between the 382 and the 0.5. Now that 0.5 looks nice because you would grab these internal highs right here. So if we do bounce there, or say, you know, we come up to this 786, then the 382 might be nice. But depending on where we end it, you could look for a long from this general area, like the liquidity grab. Obviously, you'd want to see that liquidity grab. And as soon as you close above it, you come down here, you SFP, you close above, you could long on that liquidity grab. But my very first TP would be this 382 area. And then I would leave some open for the 0.5 TP there, because you could be expecting this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down to this area, or even to the value area high. You know, that value area high is actually pretty nice there. So, come on. Okay. Yeah, but it's dumping a bit here. I'm pretty sure Bitcoin's dumping. Yep. Okay. Here we go, guys. Let's see. I mean, honestly, okay, we have potential bull divs on the chart. 15 minutes. Potential bull divs on the chart. Let's go on to the 5 minutes. I don't like this so far. We're not seeing the reaction I want to see. Guys, money flow looks really bad here. Let's see if we start to reclaim this. I'm going to have my phone ready for a trade, but I am not taking one yet. I did warn about us front running that, and because we front run it right here and saw a small bounce, there was a possibility we could slice through it next time. Let's see. Let's go on to our 1 minute chart. Okay, money flow looks like crap. No bull divs on the 1 minute. Money flow crossed over into the red and pretty dumping, pretty harsh in the red. Even Nami showing some 1 minute. Doesn't look the best here. Let's see if we get that bounce. Excuse me, guys. Hovering on the short button. Just be aware, Caleb, you don't want to be shorting at support though, buddy. Just be careful with that. Tau and Rune. I can go over Tau and Rune really quickly. Actually, Tau, that short position I talked about on Thursday's or Friday's live stream, played out so freaking nice. And I didn't end up shorting it, but I took profit way too early. I'll show you guys that in just a second. I want to see how Bitcoin's going to react here. We're at the bottom of the channel. We're not seeing much, though. Give me just a second, guys. I got to let the dog in real quick. Give me just a second. Okay, starting to get a little bit of a bounce here. Money flow's bottoming out. We don't really have bull divs on the 1 minute. Let's look on the 5. 5 minute bull divs, but money flow looks like garbage. Potential bull divs on 15. This could hold. If this starts to, let's see here. Shorts, we're seeing a squeeze, a bit of a squeeze down. A bunch of people just long that daily. Seeing, not a bunch, a little bit. So let's see. Oh, shorting for the FOMC. Yeah, man. Yep. Well, Juice, according to like the Fed markets, there is like 79% of people are expecting a drop, a rate cut. But I think that's not till September. So you're right. Not in May, they're not expecting a drop. They're expecting a drop, or I can't remember what it said. I think May was like 92% are expecting a drop. And in September, it's like a 79% are expecting a drop. So there is some people that are expecting a drop, but we'll see. We'll see how that those numbers look when we get closer. Okay, starting to see a bounce here. Let's do this. Let's look at the reclaim of the 618. Stop goes below the low. That is a 0.44% stop. So you take your 1%, whatever that is, and divide it by that percentage, and you just look to trade that. Let me just do this here. Okay. See, now the reason why we're not longing yet is because we haven't reclaimed it. This golden pocket could, but now I kind of am ready. I have my position size calculated. Okay. All right, guys. I do want to do some altcoins here, but I do have to leave soon, and I really want to see if this is gonna play out here. Let's do this. Create there. Okay, so we took a look at Super Rune. Let's see if I've got it on USDT. Yeah, okay. Rune. I mean, Rune is, gosh, looking. Let me get rid of this channel that we're in. Let's get rid of this. Rune is starting to form that accumulation, just like I'm looking for on Link. So you can see here we had this giant impulse down, and then towards the end, you want to see this exhaustion forming, a bottom forming, this accumulation. We have not broken market structure at these highs here. What we're seeing on Rune right now is we're in that pitchfork band. So if you think, what I would look for is if this band locally does hold, because this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to come up to take out these highs. Then we could see a bigger three-wave, higher low come in, and then the explosion up. So you think about it in terms of that. Let's just do this real quick. From the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3. Let's look at our wave 4 targets. Okay, we broke them. Unfortunately, that kind of shows that it's not going to be a wave 4. Let's actually look at golden pocket is coming up. We could see a bounce. It's right at the bottom of the, so I would look at 1.225. It's your support as far as your pitchfork band goes, and it's your golden pocket. We haven't came down there. So if we come down to like this 1.225, you could look for a long from here. But I'm just worried about this. Like you could see this as A, B, C correction, just like with Bitcoin. And now you're about to impulse down. So we got to be careful on that. Let's actually look at this from the lows to the highs, lows here. Okay, 1.236 is where Bitcoin's 100K is at. We did wick a little bit past it, but overall no closes above that 1.236. This could have been the topping area, and we could be expecting that bigger push down, just like on Tau, by the way. Tau, so as far as local longs, that 1.225, if we're coming down there with bull divs, you could look for a long down there. Actually, I'm going to do this. Long if divs. Okay, and then honestly, if we break that, dang, I would be looking at, let's do this pull. Okay, we're at the point of control as well. So you could see a fake out of that point of control, dip down to that level, boom. But look at our macro our range here that we've been in since February 1st. The value area low is right next to your golden pocket. So this at 1.16-ish could be your next long opportunity. This guy here, and then I would say right below us, right where we're at in this general area down here could be your next longs. And then if that breaks, I'd be looking at your 786, which is below this liquidity. But I'd be very, very careful, guys. Like I said, everyone is getting hyper bullish, and we are seeing a lot of three-wave corrective moves to the upside. And even if actually you could say this is a five-wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you're looking for a bigger ABC down to your golden pocket. If that's a five-wave move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you want to look for your macro golden pocket. So where was that coming in? Right here. If the low has been made on Rune, and we are going to do a ABC down to here, this could be your mega long zone where you mega long it all the way up. If it's not, if that's a three-wave move up and we're about to dump, I would look to dump to the bottom of the channel. 85, 86 cents. Okay, but yeah, that's what I'd be looking at on Rune. Play this range until it breaks. You can see we came to the value area high of the range, rejected value area high. We're at the point of control now. So the most logical thing is if we lose this point of control, I would say on a daily basis, if we start closing daily candles below this point of control, you can expect to move down to the value area low, which also happens to be our golden pocket. So that would be very nice. Look, that's a nice support level to look for a trade. Locally, we have this guy right below us. Be careful with that, because if Bitcoin starts to lose that channel, you are going to lose it as well. You're going to lose that local support. Let's see here. I just want to check this out. Yeah, this is not looking good enough for me yet, guys. We're not seeing the reaction we want to see here. We could still bounce. Don't get me wrong. We could still bounce, but we are having some trouble here. 93K would be the next area. 92.3 to 92.8. Okay, let's see. Yes. Yeah. 96 point chance to say the same. Okay, wow. Thank you, Nick. Okay, let's check this here. Starting to form some bull divs on the 5, but money flow hasn't quite bottomed out yet. Bull divs on the 3. Money flow is starting to curve to the upside. I think we could give this a little bit of a try. Let me see this here. Okay. I'm not doing it yet, by the way, guys. I'm not looking yet. I'm going to be patient with this because this doesn't look the best here. Money flow has bottomed out on the 1. We are seeing some, no real bull divs yet, but I just don't like the reaction we're seeing here. And of course, my exchange is being stupid. Okay, so we looked at, let's go to Tau. We just did Rune. Rune. Let's go to hourly. This is Tau. So guys, on Friday's stream on Tau, we came up to that 1.236 as well, perfectly. We hit that one. Let me zoom out actually on this 4-hour chart. So you can see our bigger ABC 3-wave corrective move up to that 1.236. We also had a lot of other key resistance up in that area. And we were on Friday's stream. Now, I ended up shorting after the stream because we were seeing this 3-wave move up into our local golden pocket. So we had broke market structure bearishly here, right? Made a lower low. So now that we made a lower low, we could be expecting a lower high to come in on the charts. Well, you can see our value area high is right around that area. Let me delete this for a second. First of all, I want to talk about this. Even though it's a pattern, head and shoulders trading, head and shoulders is a topping reversal pattern, right? So we were seeing, first of all, the break in market structure on higher time frames, MS break. So when you see your market structure break, even though it was only a wick, we grabbed the liquidity, we push back up. But now that we've seen market structure break bearishly, we could be looking for a lower high to come in on the charts to short the lower high. So we saw our MS break. We see a left shoulder ahead. Could we see a right shoulder? Let's go ahead and pull our Fibonacci from the highs to the lows of this last move down. Let's turn on our JC pocket, which is your golden pocket 786 area. You can see we came up to that 786 and rejected. And once we started rejecting this, I think I shorted. Now let's go ahead and zoom in onto like the 24-minute, because I shorted right during the stream on Friday. We were up in this area, and I think I shorted this guy here because we came up to our local 786 again. Local 786, we tapped it. I had shorted here, stop above this high, not above the overall high. But I did take profit way, way too early on this. I think I took profit when we started bouncing here. I just closed it out. There was some reason why I took profit down there. Or maybe it was this low that we took. I can't remember. But yeah, we did that. Overall, Tau on higher time frames. Once again, just like Bitcoin, guys, 8-hour bear divs, money flow starting to come out. At our highs, at our major ABC target zone, we had a naked monthly point of control, a daily, a naked weekly point of control. The top of the channel is kind of close by. We had the SFPs up, an SFP up here of this guy, golden pocket and ABC target. So a lot was up in here. And we could see if Tau is topping out, this is the area to look. And this could be the area where we do see a big, big drop on Tau. But right now, I will say this. We have broken above the channel. Back tested the channel once, twice, and we're holding. So as long as this channel holds, we could see another push up to this area. And look at where our 1.618 is. So if this is not a 3-wave ABC, but it's a 5-wave impulse, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your 5, 1.618 up in our box. 424 pretty much, 424. So if this channel holds, like what I would want to see actually is a grab of these lows at 333.8. That's where my my final TP was going to be. And then I was going to look for another short once we did that. So 333.8, an SFP of this guy into the channel, then maybe a push up to the 1.618 if it's a 5-wave move. Now, if we start to break back within this channel and not see an SFP here, we're going to dump. We're going to dump hard because this here, not much structure in here. If we start to lose this low and not hold that liquidity grab, we could flush hard. And in that case, you could be looking for your golden pocket of the entire move. Down here, where the point of control of that range is. 252.5. And let's actually grab this let's grab this and pull it all the way. Yeah, I mean, look at this range here, this whole bottoming range that we've been seeing on Tau. Point of control, golden pocket. That is actually your main target where you'd want to be looking for your first main target for the short TP and a potential long opportunity. Here, and this is going to be and I'm just going to set an alert here. It's spelled wrong. I know what it says. All right. So yeah, Tau, next level, if you're bullish on it, you want to see the SFP of this low at 333.8. We are, excuse me, guys, my throat. Let me actually zoom out. Yeah, we are starting to form some potential bull divs on the chart here. lower lows, higher lows, but money flow looks like crap still. What I would be waiting for is that SFP. That's the only I'm interested in looking at longing. We're just crossing into the red on the 4 hour. We were seeing those 4 hour bear divs, money flow leaving the asset. I warned about this on Friday's stream that we could see a bigger dump from this area. We were up here when I was warning about that. Actually looking for a mega short on this thing. So I will do this. I will set an alert here. No, not that. Long if confirmed. And what I mean by that is the confirmed SFP. So you want to see the wick below and then the reclaim. And once you reclaim it, you long, stop goes below the low, you look for the push up. And then in that case, I would be looking at my local golden pocket. Hold on, let me get rid of those. I would be looking for, let's just say we bring it down to that area. I'd be looking for that golden pocket 786 area for a TP. Okay, so Tau, let's see what else was there. We did Rune, Tau, Super, ZBCN. And yeah, Fernando, we just did Rune, but on Rune, I would just be looking, you know, this box down here, first of all, at 116, it could be a good long opportunity. Very, very locally, right below us, we have a golden pocket coming in at 123 to 125. I would say particularly 122.5, where the bottom of the pitchfork band is. That could be a long opportunity right below us. We're actually hitting the golden pocket now, but I would want to see it push a little bit lower into the 0.65 to hit that pitchfork band, the bottom of the pitchfork band. Because if we zoom out here on the daily, you can see that we are kind of rejecting this pitchfork band and we're forming this bottom accumulation range. This is accumulation. Make no mistake about this, guys. Or it could be redistribution, which would be really sad. But you saw your big dump and now you're having your whales starting to accumulate down here. So you'll see accumulation, accumulation, expansion. A very, very good example of this is Link a couple of years ago. Where's Chainlink at? Chainlink, a couple of years ago. Look at this. Big dump down, accumulation range, expansion. Now, let's go back to Tau, and let's just look at this on a lower time. Actually, can we do this? Let's grab this. I don't think I can bring that onto a different chart, can I? Oh, well. Okay, so you see that dump, accumulation range, expansion. Let's look at Rune. Dump, accumulation range forming, could be forming for a bit longer, and then you could see expansion. So we'll trade this range until it breaks. Value area low is at that golden pocket, not the one just below us, but the bigger one at 116, was it? Yeah, 116-ish. So that's the area I'd be looking. Okay, wait, first let's check Bitcoin. Okay, we're starting to see some bull dips confirm here. I might attempt a long here. If my freaking exchange will work. Not yet. Let's see. Let me see what the chat. BTC's moving down. Yep. Okay. And well, Zim Gangsta, we're at support right now. If it doesn't hold now, we're going down to 93K. And if 93K doesn't hold, watch out. ZBCN. See, ZBCN. Ooh, is this like a small coin? Let's check. Oh, man. Okay. It's pumping. We could be about to SFP these highs and then drop. Daily looks pretty good. Money flows crossing into the green just now, but I would be very wary. This looks very pumpish to me. I'd be very wary of grabbing these highs and seeing a big retrace. Man, there's not much on this, to be honest. Ooh, yeah. Let's zoom in here onto the 4-hour chart. Ooh, yeah, this could be a 5-wave impulse. This does look kind of impulsive here. Money flow looks very strong, but you are starting to form some bear divs here. Now, until that money flow tops out, do not, do not take those bear divs into account. But this could be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in your 5th wave, you're also looking for a 5-wave impulse. So this is an extended 5th wave. So in your 5th wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would give you your overall 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here, SFPing those highs and then seeing a drop. That actually looks like, I mean, if money flow didn't look so good, I would SFP. I would short this SFP if it confirms. Like if we do take a little bit longer, SFP here and money flow's topping out, that could be a nice short position. Let's look. By the way, I know nothing about this coin. Absolutely nothing about it. Let's look at this. Okay, that's a 211% move. So when we pull our fib, we're gonna have to use log scale. So we're going to go from low to high. We're going to come in here. We're going to fibs based off log scale. So our golden pocket is in a very nice area. Very, very nice area. You can see that golden pocket is coming in right below this liquidity grab. So anytime you see a major SFP into a golden pocket, that is a super long zone. Plus the value area highs around that area. If you're super bullish on this thing and this thing pulls back to this area, because this is clearly impulsive here. So if this is impulsive, or actually, I don't know. Here's the thing, guys. You could be seeing an ABC here as well. A, B, C. Because remember, in your C wave, you're looking for a 5-wave subcount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if this is just an ABC to grab these highs, you're expecting new lows to come in below those lows. If it's a 5-wave impulse, then you're expecting a retrace down to your higher low and then a blast off. Either way, we're getting close to being done with this impulse. Money flow still looks strong here. But I would say watch out for that SFP. Yeah, money flow looks good. I would not be trying to short this until money flow calms down. But if you do get this SFP here, you might get that final dump there. And yeah, absolutely. ADD dad. Okay, guys, I really do have to go here. I'm already running a bit behind. Let me check Bitcoin again. I have not longed yet, and I don't know if I will, guys. I don't like the reaction we're seeing here. We are seeing some bull divs on the chart, and it's trying to hold us, but we're really not seeing the reaction we want. So the next level I'd be looking for is this 93K area. Now, I know our point of control on Coinbase is just below that. I don't know if I would try to long that. You could look for a long if we SFP that into the point of control. I think we're about to dump possibly hard. We'll see. We haven't lost the channel yet. We're at the bottom of the big ascending channel. Depending on what happens with this ascending channel here. Let me just delete this. We're at the ascending channel bottom, rejected from the top. If we don't hold this, you know, we could dump down to 90K super quick. 93K would be an area I'm looking. Fake out into 93K. Money flow looks like crap still. This is what would keep me out. Look at the 1 hour money flow here. Also, you're about to invalidate your bull dibs on the 1 hour. I would be very careful looking for a long here. Very, very careful looking for a long here. 15-minute chart is showing bull dibs. I understand that. It is showing, well, they're about to get invalidated, actually. Right now, it's like equal lows. So equal lows, money flow is now coming out again on the 15-minute. To me, this looks more, I don't have enough to long here. I understand if you guys are longing here. I don't have enough to long here. If I have to wait a little bit and it bounces and I get in after it reclaims that 618, I will. Right now, I don't see enough. I just don't see enough right now for me. You just said if we lost 94.5, we were going down. Yes. If we lose 94.5, we're going down to 93. If we lose 93, we're going down to 90. If 91 to 90.5. And then if we lose 90.5, we could go much, much lower. It's level to level, man. Level to level in trading, Crash. So, you know, you map out your levels of support and resistance. You find those key levels where there's confluence, and then you just trade level to level. So we have our first level of support right now. It could hold us and we could bounce. If it doesn't, I'll look down to my next level where the next level of support is. This could hold us and it could bounce. What you want to look for at each level is you want to look for confirmation. Right now, I'm not seeing confirmation to long this, so I'm not longing this. So my bias is that maybe this is not going to hold. So yes, I'm going to look down to my next level. If this level does not have my confirmations and it looks like it's not going to hold, I'll look down to my next level. And that's how you play as a trader. You map out your levels of support and resistance. Once you get there, you look at how the chart is reacting, how order flow looks, how your indicators look, how all those different things look. And if those things look good, go for it. If they don't, you've got to be patient and sit on your hands and wait. But it is always level to level. So yes, I will always mention a lot of different levels because I am always looking at those key spots on the chart to look for longs and shorts as a trader. It's a trading mentality is what it is. Soul Maxi, absolutely, man. Thank you for joining. Mark Dutch, what's up, dude? Thank you for joining. Mark, I'm literally, I've been streaming since about 2 hours now. I'm just about to take off here. I've got to do some things here, dinner and stuff like that. So, anyways, guys, I am going to get going. I appreciate all of you guys for joining. If you did get anything out of this video, will you please hit the like button to help me grow the channel a bit? And also, I'm going to try to start streaming some more. So I will let you guys know when I'm trying to stream. But thank you for joining. At least we got a little bit of good price action today. If this channel breaks, guys, if this ascending channel, now remember, we talk about this. Anytime you see impulses, when you see this kind of grind towards the end, it's starting to get exhausted a bit. The buyers are starting to get exhausted. We hit up into our major resistance area. If this structure breaks, we could see that bigger drop down. Yeah, money flow looks tough on all. Yep. Yeah, thank you, Mark. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, guys, like, subscribe, free to the touch, no KYC. Yeah, that's awesome. No tariffs, yeah. No tariffs yet to watch the channel. Yep. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for joining. Let's just keep an eye out on what's going to happen here. We could bounce from here. Don't get me wrong. We could bounce from here, but it doesn't look good right now. I'll be looking down to that 93K to 92.8. If that doesn't hold, I'll be looking down to 91 to 90.5. And then if that doesn't hold, we're going to probably see a much bigger drop. Well, actually, we do have this value area high, but if we start to lose these lows down here, and not SFP it, it's going to be bad for Bitcoin. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you all. I will see you next